Greetings, Star Trek Fleet Commanders. I am the Angry Rhino. Please like the video and subscribe to the channel. With the territory map wipe comes the start of another territory season, though the takeovers won't happen for another day-ish. What I wanted to do today was give you some information, some of it probably more considered an opinion, but it may help you and your alliance decide what territories to go after. I want to start with what some of you may have noticed, and it has to do with the 3-star territories. And it would appear that the services weren't necessarily rotated, just added to, because it would look like that's what it looks like. What it will be, we don't know. Come Sunday and further activations, because it looks like some of these 3-star territories are going to have 2 services. Instead of having, like I was saying before, instead of having them rotated, just added a different one to it. Like you can see, Nirmaur here has the Officer Enhancer. It also has Repair Enhancer. Now take a notice of the, we'll call it the color, I guess, how they look. You can see how colorful and how bright they are. Go to this next screenshot of me going down. You see how they're more subdued and grayed out. Well, from what I gather, these highlighted, I guess, the colorful highlighted ones are what is currently active. Not necessarily did you go in and press the button to activate the service itself, but it is this current week's run of the service, and it is available for activation. These gray ones are next week's, and they will be available after the next takeover. Something that has led me to that conclusion, this is me tapping on one of these grayed out ones. You can see right here at the bottom, upcoming. This service will become available at the end of the zone's next takeover. It appears that the system populates 2 sets of services. The current week's run and the upcoming for next week. So when you have the takeover, one is already going to populate. The game doesn't have to make another one populate. This one's already on a timer. And it ends when the takeover ends and it becomes active. That's why, as far as these services, it's gone relatively smoothly, right? For the past several years, there's some things in this game that just have not run smoothly and have broken down. Your ability to go in there and activate the next service hasn't been hindered, except by you and maybe not having enough resources. So it's done ahead of time. That's what I'm saying. So while this is still in here for next week or this coming Saturday, will it continue after that? Will you continue to see 2 sets? Will you, like say for Nirmaur, will you continue to see the Repair Enhancer and the Officer Enhancer? Don't know. But for now, you go back to these gray ones. Unless something changes, if you take Nirmaur Saturday, should have the Officer and the Repair Enhancer available. And also Motovine Construction Yard and Chronometric Particle. Will it change? Did they notice their mistake yet? Will they notice their mistake? Do they care? Don't know. But it looks like they just added the rotation instead of actually moving them. They just added 2, which is technically fine. I don't have a problem with that. You want to give the people an option to activate increase officer stats and repair enhancing? Yeah, sure. That's fine. This is not exclusive to NERM or all the other 3 stars. At least at the point of me making this video, have the same issue, though not the same services. Alright, and now that that's out of the way, let me talk about a few of the old services, and I'm going to talk about more specifically the services available from the 2 and the 3 star. I'm not going to go into like the sarcophagus bullshit and the improved isogen bullshit or the particle generators, but I'm talking about like the main services. Like for example, here, whatever territory this is, I can't remember. It's a 1 or a 2 star. It is not a 3 star, but it is research efficiency. And this is one of the old ones, one of the ones that was around from the beginning. It's one of the ones I still like, partially because it's research related. Shit tons of research, and research is very important. And 40% less dilithium. It's basically only dilithium. Yeah, it does say tritanium and par steel, but let's face it, there aren't too many researches that cost par steel and tritanium. There are a few, but they're not many. It's mostly dilithium. 40% cheaper researches as far as dilithium goes. Yeah, I'll take that. Some of these services throughout the years have become, we'll say, diluted because there have been so many other researchers and buildings and artifacts and forbidden technologies and whatever other features to make them less impactful. But, you know, with all these researches, 40% less dilithium costs is 40% less dilithium costs. It means you can do a whole bunch more researches. It's a good thing. Next one is, next one, construction efficiency enhancer. And yeah, you saw the next one after this theme here. Some of these servicers are damage related. Oh yeah, here's 20% extra damage. Here's 30% mitigation. Here's 20% piercing. Whoa. Not doing a whole lot for you nowadays because there are so many other things that just do so much more. But with these efficiencies, and it's really research, construction, and ship component efficiency, it's saving you resources. Now, this construction efficiency is only 20%. I definitely think the research one is better because dilithium is, to me, it's just harder to come by. For buildings, par steel is the main thing, and when you raid, lots of people have huge par steel walls, and that is the resource that is rated first by your miner. So I do think par steel is one of the easier ones to come by. So I don't hold as much value to this construction efficiency enhancer as, let's say, the other two, but 20% cheaper buildings is 20% cheaper buildings. Very useful. And can still be useful to a lot of players. Next one, component efficiency enhancer. Does say for par steel, tritanium, and dilithium, but I don't know if I've ever seen any component for a ship that costs par steel. Have you? I know one that costs par steel to repair, and that's the Rialto. As far as the ship component, no, I don't know that anyone costs par steel. 30% reduction of all the tritanium and dilithium par steel components. Again, the same principle as the other two. It's lessening your cost. that is beneficial to you. Yeah, sure. 25% damage in PvP is beneficial to you. Kinda. 25% is not a lot. If you are a lower player and you're on a younger server, sure, you're going to see a lot more benefit than, let's say, my server that's over 4 years old. Or, yeah, we're over 4 years old, but now. But either way, this is going to be one of the benefits. And that's really the only ones I see benefit to. Yes, construction speed, research speed, they're nice. Damage enhancing, they're nice. Mining speed. Sure, I mean, they all help, but how much do they really help you? They'll help you that much. All right, moving on. Moving on to some of the, actually all the services I'll be covering now are the new services. New as in new with a season pass of the territory. Some of them came about last season, actually. There are no new services, which is kind of disappointing. At least that I've seen. I haven't seen any new services. Which, yeah, I mean, it's disappointing, but can't expect to have new territory services every territory season, I guess. Here's the Mona Veen Construction Yard. Yes, this was taken from a 2-star. This was not taken from a 3-star territory, so that's official. Well, I mean, official when people start, claiming the territory and activating this, I guess. You can see the cost here. It's not a terrible cost, I guess. It really does depend on how active your people are and how often you can get on your players to donate these alloys. That is something you're going to have to keep up with. Notice the level 39 plus. If you are not a level 39 plus, you will not be able to claim Mona Veen blueprints. So, it's a downside there, but shouldn't take you too long to push up to 39. Free to play. Took me a year and a half, but again, I started almost 4 years ago. Should be a little quicker now. Yeah, I talked about it. Yeah, some people have confirmed it in some of these comments. It is a lot quicker. But yeah, if you want the Mona Veen, here's what it costs. It's in a lot of the 2-stars now. And you got to be level 39 to claim it. Another new service that came out. This is only exclusive to the 3-stars. This is a chronometric particle generator. 25 plus. To be able to see this. Why, I don't know. Not sure why it matters. I guess you can't even do the researches until then, but however. You can see the cost to activate this service. It's actually a little more expensive than the Mona Veen blueprint, which is surprising because you don't get that many chronometric particles daily. I don't know why it's so expensive compared to how many you get. It's like you get nothing. But however, here's this. This available in all the 3-stars. Well, we don't know. It looks like it's going to be available in all the 3-stars, but we'll have to see. Alright, some of the new services that came out last season. I'll talk about a few of those and how much value I see in them. Particle Efficiency Enhancer. 20% efficiency to Quantum, Phantom, Surlax, and Metreon costs for the researches in the territory tree. Yeah, I mean, they're nice. I mean, especially if you're on a younger server. If you're on an older server, it's not really worth anything. 20% is nothing. There's also researches that allow you to get way more than this. So, I don't really hold that much value in this at all, but it's there. If you see the value in it, by all means, go after it, but I would not plan your route or what territories you're going to capture based on this server, this service. Scrapping speed enhancer. You see it does say 60%, but something they had done, actually I think they started doing it before the territory season, just because we started complaining about some of these services just didn't do too much. Started making them have level caps or level brackets. You see 20 to 29 is 15%, 30 to 38 is 20%, 39 to 50 is 30%, 51 to 70 is 60%. Not sure why, because we don't scrap that much at 51. Because the ships just stopped being worth that much to scrap. You don't get as much compared to what you used to get. Like, say, in the 40s. But, there you go. Scrapping speed. If you're big into scrapping, or your alliance is big into scrapping, you may want to go after this. Personally, at my level, I don't see a lot of value in this just because I don't scrap that much. I do scrap, I just don't scrap that much. And what I'm getting, okay, if I'm scrapping a 3-star epic, well, I don't care that much. I'm just doing it to do it. Maybe get a few more ship hearts too for material dumps for 4-star ships. It's not really helping my progression anymore, which is kind of sad, but because it used to be a great feature, but 50 plus, it really doesn't matter anymore. Reputation enhancer, this is probably going to be people's favorite. Gain reputation per hostile kill. Level 1 to 14, 3%. Okay. I'm not even sure why they went down that far. I didn't even know level 1 through 14 would even start collecting reputation yet, but it's been a while since I was there. 15 to 24, 8%, 25 to 34, 20%, 35 to 49, 32%, 50 to 70, 40%. 40% reputation gain. Yes, it does sound like a lot, but that is base. This is off of the base of what the hostile is giving you. The hostile is only giving you 40,000. You get 40% of that. An extra 40% of that. Okay, I mean, sure. You know, it's like an extra 16,000. It's not that much compared to all the other researches and exocomps you can activate. You're not getting that much. But it is available to you. It is nice. It is very cheap. As you can see, it does not cost alloys because it is from a 1-star territory. Very useful. Next, PvP isolytic damage enhancer. Note there only in PvP. Level 1 through 19, 1%. 20 through 37, you get a 1.5%. 38 to 45, you get 2.5%. 46 to 53, you get 3.75%. 54 to 70, you get 5%. Is this a lot? Does kind of depend on you. Yes, 5% isolytic damage is not that much, but if you think about isolytic cascade, if you're doing isolytic cascade with these isolytic strike team assholes, not only are you getting this 5%, but you're taking whatever isolytic cascade percent and boosting the isolytic damage. So you're not necessarily getting 5%, you're getting closer to maybe 10%, or probably somewhere between 10 and 15% total. That's something. Is that useful to you? Well, you're going to have to decide that. Is 10% more damage really moving the needle for you? Maybe it is, maybe it isn't. You have to check your battle logs. But it does work. Some people swear by it. Increase cloak duration. Level 26 to 38, 7.5%. 39 to 50, 10%. 51 to 70, 15%. It's not a whole lot. I mean, even at my level, 15%. I'm like, okay, what's that, an extra minute? All right, cool, thanks. It can work. Let's say you're trying to take a territory. Well, people trying to kill your ships, your cloak, and they can't kill you until you uncloak. So you can be in the territory gaining points. You can't be on a node, but you can be floating in the system gaining points cloaked. There is benefit there. Other than that, there's really no benefit to cloaking duration. Doesn't increase your damage in PvP or PvE, but can increase your cloak duration. It can benefit you, especially with the events for, being in a territory capture for so long. Maybe your alliance doesn't have one. Maybe you want to join one, but it's, somebody else is going for it. You don't want them to blow up your ships and screw up your event. So you cloak. Get your points that way. Energy Weapon Enhancer. 1 through 19, 50%. 20 through 28, 30%. 29 through 39, 40%. 40 through 50, 90%. 51 through 70, 150%. This is fairly nice. I mean, it's about just as good as one of those damage exo comps. Can do you more damage. It is only for energy weapons. There are, check the map, there are 3 of these. Typically there are 2 of every service, but for some reason there are 3 energy weapon enhancers. Don't know why, because there's only 1 kinetic weapon enhancer from what I have saw on the map. It is possible I missed it. Kinetic weapon enhancer, same thing, except for kinetic weapons. So if you get both of them, which it is possible, yeah, you can do an extra 150 damage all around if you are 51 plus. I think that is the last one. That is the last one. The energy and the kinetic weapon enhancer, it can be useful. It really can be. And especially since it's in a 1-star territory, it's relatively cheap. It doesn't cost any alloys, which is a great thing. Though, if you are in an active enough alliance, you have no trouble with the alloys. It's very easy to get these alloy and activate these services. Problem is, mostly people forget. And then you'll demand for people to go in and donate for these alloys. And it's like, oh, I haven't done it in like 3 weeks. Oh, so here's 100,000 of this one. I'm like, well, I would have rather if you split it up if you were going to donate 100,000. Bastard. But, alright. Thanks for finally donating. Alright, let's wrap this up here. Went over the few changes to the territories. We'll have to keep our eye on the 3-star territories to see what is going on with these services. Maybe something happened that will benefit us, and we'll have our choice between 1 or 2, or you can activate both of those services. The one that was supposed to be moving and the one that was supposed to be coming in. Be pretty nice. And looks like you're going to have Chronometric and Monaveen Blueprint for your 3-star. We'll see if that stays the same. I think the old services from the 1 and 2-star that are still viable are the construction, research, and component efficiencies. At least when you get up to the 50s, you have no idea how much some of these stupid components cost. And I definitely remember having some trouble in G4, especially as far as the dilithium goes, because you want all that research. You start trying to upgrade your components for your ship, and it's like, oh, shoot, running out of dilithium now too. Cool. Can be very useful. Some of the new services that came about the last territory season, some of them look kind of nice. Some of them are kind of, I mean, they're still kind of meh. It's nothing that's overwhelming. The isolytic damage enhancer is nice. The reputation gain is also okay. But not sure I think any of them are that good to where I'm going to plan my route based on a 1 or 2-star service. In my opinion, I'm going to find the 3-star territory that I like the best, and I'm going to plan around that. But that is my opinion. Comment below. Do you think any of these 1 or 2-star territory services are worth basing your territory map around? What territories your alliance is going to go after? You think that should be based on the 1 or 2-star territory services? Which service is your favorite? There are several services that are actually very nice. Even though they may be small, they can be unique in some cases, depending on the player. So which one is your favorite? That's going to do it for this video. Be sure to like and subscribe. I am the Angry Rhino. Shields up, Commanders.